This is week 6 of my journey to a master's in responsible artificial intelligence. I am Rem, also known as Kuya Dev, and I am currently a student at the Open Institute of Technology. This week, we were required to submit another graded assessment in the form of a paper for our AI ethics class. As part of the requirement, we had to obtain the model cards of 2 of the major large language models currently available on the market and do a comparison. For my paper, I chose OpenAI's GPT-5 because, of course, and Anthropic's Claude 4. But before we move on, what exactly are model cards? So, a model card is a document that contains information about that AI model. It could have, for example, the information about the data that's been used to train that model, any use cases that that data was trained for, safeguards, any risks that the model poses, any tests that have been done internally and by external third-party audit firms, and a lot more information. In the instance of GPT-5 and Claude 4, they don't actually provide model cards anymore. Instead, they provide broader system cards. Essentially, they're basically the same, but instead of just focusing on just a single model, they actually cover the whole system of models. Like for GPT-5, it has several models like the thinking model, the main model, and I think there's also a pro model. Meanwhile, Claude has Sonnet and Opus and a bunch of other models. So these system cards cover all the information about these several models under the umbrella of that system. In this video, I won't dive deep anymore into my paper and my comparison, but I just want to highlight that these system cards are available publicly and they contain information and the data that we could actually peruse and analyze to see for ourselves that these models aren't perfect. That information is publicly available. Although they are marketed as being perfect artificial intelligence models, they aren't, and they will never be perfect. And allow me to appeal to people who aren't actually in the machine learning or artificial intelligence space, that having a bit of inaccuracy in AI models is actually good in terms of enabling that model to generalize effectively to real-world scenarios for data that it has yet to see. Because, you could gather all the data in the world, but it would still not be enough to cover everything about the real world. I won't go deep into why that is, why error and inaccuracy is baked into AI models, because that information is also available everywhere, in YouTube, in Coursera, in Udemy. That's discussed, that whenever you train a model, you don't expect it to have 100% accuracy. It will never be perfect. And if you train a model and you find that it has 100% accuracy, it actually raises alarm bells for AI engineers and data scientists, because it's not supposed to work that way. So with that said, what I want to point out is that these AI models will have the probability of actually spitting out information that may be false. That probability might be small, but that probability is still there. So I'm saying that in hopes that anyone who's watching this video would realize that they shouldn't trust AI blindly. Always verify information that AI is spitting out to you. And most especially, and this is one of the risks of AI, that AI has the tendency to please the user, to actually just spit out answers for the sake of spitting out answers. And they call this phenomena psychophancy. The AI is a psychophant. Although in the system cards that I read, I think, all in all, they were around 200 pages. They say there that GPT-5 and Claude don't exhibit psychophancy in their tests, in their internal tests, and even in external audits. Personally, I don't believe that you can eliminate psychophancy, especially if the user is very savvy in how they could write their prompts to elicit the behavior that they want from AI. So that danger is always there. So yeah, I appeal to anyone who's watching this, don't take or don't trust artificial intelligence blindly. AI is a very powerful tool, as long as you know how to use it correctly and how to use it effectively. And I've come to believe that one of the most vital skills currently in making sure that you get the most out of AI, especially generative AI, is communication skills. And most especially, written communication skills. And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of software developers aren't actually getting the benefits out of coding AI assistants. It's because a lot of us software developers, and especially technical professionals, we aren't really good communicators. Most of us just want to focus on the work, on the code. Even when I was back in the electrical engineering industry, we just wanted to focus on, computing things, making sure things work, monitoring systems. Very few of us actually want to expose ourselves in, public speaking, writing. That's one of the reasons why technical professionals are finding it hard to actually extract the most value out of large language models because we don't know how to communicate. So I think the joke that minor subjects like, English, grammar are worthless for software developers, computer science students, and IT students, even in engineering, math, that communication isn't really important. That belief was false then. And it's even more false or falser in the age of AI. AI is designed with the goal to provide answers, right? At least for large language models like ChatGPT and Claude. But it can't guess what exactly is the context of your question. So you would need to provide it with as much context. And for you to be able to do that, you should be a good communicator. You should have a good grasp of the written medium. And if you're not comfortable with writing, you're not maximizing the value of artificial intelligence. And that's sad. And because, a lot of STEM professionals didn't actually take writing seriously. But it's never too late, right? If you're a student right now, make sure you maximize and make the most out of your English subjects, your writing subjects. Try to blog, try to write a journal. Just start building the skill of writing and get comfortable with it. And with that, when you discover the joy of writing, I think it will translate in how you would be able to create prompts that will enable you to unlock the full potential of large language models. You better start now. Even current professionals, just as simple as journaling every day is going to help a lot in making sure that you remain relevant in the age of large language models and generative AI. So yeah, TLDR, writing is a very vital skill in the age of AI. So yep, that was week 6 of my term 1 here at Open Institute of Technology. This is actually the midpoint of the first term of the program. And for week 7, we have what they call reading week. In the Philippines, we have what we call the midterm break or the sem break, right? But here at OPET, we call it reading week. We don't actually have a break. We still have classes within that week, but the classes will be focused more on questions and recaps of what was already discussed. Nothing deep. And no assignments, no assessments. I am actually planning to use this week to reorganize my notes. I'm currently trying to adopt a note-taking framework called Zettelkasten. Maybe in another video, I will discuss how that works. I'm just still figuring things out. But yeah, I want to gather all those notes in that note-taking system so that in the future, it allows me to extract information and facts from my web of notes effectively versus traditional note-taking that you have notebooks, right? And it's hard to actually find what you need. And hopefully, Zettelkasten will help unlock the power of note-taking. But yes, I'm still learning it. And if I get the hang of it, maybe I could create a video about it. And maybe that could help other students out there. Anyway, thank you very much for sticking with me up to the end of this video. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye!